Like and subscribe right now, and Bitcoin Peep will make you rich. My Airbnb was an entire house built inside a barn. The moment George Bush learned 9/11 happened while reading at an elementary school. This is the grave of Technical Sergeant Leonard Matlovic. It does not bear his name because he intended to be a monument to all gay veterans. Today marks 46 years since he appeared on the cover of Time magazine. Never again. The 6th of July 1943. Never forget. The 22nd of June 1988. A gay Vietnam veteran. When I was in the military they gave me a medal for killing 2 men and a discharge for loving one. The pill man who stands outside CVS and Walgreens sharing his story of addiction and recovery. I met him today. He is 8 years clean. Pill man. One man's fight to overcome opiate addiction. 28-year-old Marcy Borders, who worked at the Bank of America located in the World Trade Center and survived its collapse, is photographed completely covered in dust. September 11, 2001. Magpie attacking rider from rear. Taken with a rear-facing camera on a bike helmet. A cowl shampooed and blow-dried up. This flower that bloomed on my succulent. He made all of these toys out of wood, and they all have movable parts. It took him 260 hours to build all of them. Scratch-built wood models. Out of over 40,000 windows in the World Trade Center building only one survived intact, and it was marked to have come from the 82nd floor. The massive straw sculptures of the Wearer Art Festival in Japan. Osama bin Laden, far right, with 2 of his brothers and 2 unrelated women during a visit to Oxford in 1971. In China, this is a statue of Qin Hui, a corrupt politician from the 11th century widely regarded as a traitor. His and his family's statues have been cursed, spat and urinated upon by the Chinese for centuries. Britannia, the last night 11 rescue dog alive, being saluted by firemen outside an animal clinic, moments before she was euthanized. Steve Buscemi, on the far left with the mask on, goes down to ground zero to help look for survivors. Brazilian agate that looks like a sunset over the ocean. Dental work found on a 4,000 years old mummy. Melancholy, a sculpture created by Albert Yogi, portrays the void that grief leaves us with. An extremely rare angular rough shark, Arcinitus centrina, sometimes known as a pig-faced shark that normally leaves up 2,300 feet below the surface. This example was recently spotted by naval officers, floating in the waters at the Darcina Midicea Marina in the town of Porto Ferreiro, island of Elba. Chick born with the genetic defect polymelia, causing it to have 4 legs. A new offshore fish farm during transport to Norway. A horse-drawn bus from the 1890s. The Statue of Liberty, Paris, France, 1886, before it was transported to America. In Germany, there is an elevator that has an aquarium inside of it. The woman standing at the edge of ruined WTC. 248 megapixel image of the sun, gets better close up. Portuguese Royal Library in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The library was founded in 1837 by a group of 43 political émigrés from Portugal to promote Portuguese culture in the capital of the Brazilian Empire. The Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible, was written by a monk who had been sentenced to death. To avoid this, he promised to write a book that contained all human knowledge in one night. Knowing he wouldn't be able to keep his promise, he prayed to Lucifer, who completed the book for him. A lobster with an exact color split. This occurs in 1 if every 50 million lobsters. LAPD cops disguised themselves as women to catch a purse snatcher in the 1960s. The last photo taken of Vladimir Lenin alive. He was in a wheelchair after suffering 3 strokes in the previous 2 years. By the end he was paralyzed and completely mute. Iron Mike Tyson immediately after biting off a part of Evander Holyfield's ear. The moon rover tires are actually wire mesh. Ceiling of an abandoned castle in Germany. The world's longest continuous road that a person can walk on. Cape Town, Magadan, 4,492 hours, 22,387 kilometers. A male golfer will see in poison frog dad taking care of his babies. Huey Freeman from the Boondocks was based on Huey P. Newton, the co-founder of the Black Panthers. In 1140, when a opposition castle was captured by King Conrad III, the women of the castle were granted free departure and allowed to take what they could carry on their backs. Thinking quickly, the women carried the men on their backs. The king kept his word and let the men live. This fully intact and forgotten gym in the basement of an abandoned church. Just actress Sigourney Weaver using a flamethrower in preparation for Alien, 1978. Triali in Lucca, Italy. Ayam semani is a rarely kept breed of chicken which originated in Indonesia. Even its bones and organs are black. Proof that the Halo device saves lives. On the road out of Reykjavik. This is how big a woolly mammoth tusk is. Found in Siberia. 2,000 years ago, royalty from the Han dynasty were laid to rest entirely ensheathed in jade suits comprised of thousands of pieces of cut and polished jade, sewn together with gold thread. Mined as early as 6000 BC, the Chinese thought jade would preserve the body and aid in immortality. A car sprayed with Muzu black, a color that absorbs 99 of light. This ghost ship was formed from light and water during the Amsterdam Light Festival. Lightning bolts striking One World Trade Center and the Empire State Building at the same time. A Red Fox Agate from Patagonia. Mountain dwellings, Denmark. This wall in Lyon, France before and after it was painted. The galaxy frog is one of the most beautiful and uncommon frogs on the planet. In November of 2020, Taco Bell discontinued the Mexican pizza as part of their plan to go greener. The packaging accounted for more than £7 million of paperboard material in the US. The Haley Research Station in Antarctica. Statue of Shiva the Destroyer in the Ganga River floods, UK, India. This happened in 2013. In Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, 2001, they used a giant prop ring for close-up shots. A mosque, Catholic chapel, Protestant church, Buddhist, Hindu and Confucius temple located in the same street in Surabaya city, Indonesia. Oz is watching an amazing storm in the Mojave Desert. This is Baloo the bear, Leo the lion and Shere Khan the tiger. They have spent the last 15 years peacefully coexisting at Noah's Ark Animal Shelter in Georgia. They were rescued together back in 2001 from a dog dealer's basement and have been together ever since. 1939 Lincoln Zephyr scrape. Early 1900s fireman suit for the fireman to get closer to the fire. Cryptus is a sculpture erected on the CIA grounds in 1991. It bears 4 encrypted codes consisting of 865 letters and 4 question marks punched into a curved wall of copper. Though 3 sections were successfully decoded in the 1990s, the 4th and final code remains unsolved till date. The catacombs of Paris lined with millions of human bones. Snowflake under a microscope. The discovery of the statue of Antinous in Delphi, Greece in 1894. Race organizers attempt to stop Catherine Switzer from competing in the Boston Marathon. She became the first woman to finish the race, 1967. A portrait of the Twin Towers in New York City, made with the faces of the victims of the 9/11 attacks on the towers. The attacks resulted in 2,977 fatalities. There is scuba gear for dogs. Taal volcano erupting.